Oh, hello there. Don't mind me, just getting absolutely drunk with a chicken here in Bree-land. I'd like to welcome all of you to Season 3 of The Lord of the Rings Online. As a reminder, this is a 100% playthrough of the game, meaning that I go through region by region, doing 100% of the quests and 100% of the deeds before continuing on to the next area. The previous two seasons included the Shire and Ered Luin. Bree-land over here is also considered a beginner region, but towards the later half of the season we will be catching up to our current level and the content is going to start getting a little bit more difficult. So I'm definitely excited about that. And as a quick reminder for you guys, be sure to watch this series in 2x speed. You will thank me later. And also visit www.renaissancegaming.net/lotro.html where you can find a completionist checklist of all the quests and all the deeds that I'm going to be doing in this game. So let's go ahead and begin doing a ton of quests here in Bree-land. I'm in Combe, which is one of the beginner areas in Bree. I really need to get a solid state drive for my computer if I'm going to be recording this series. It makes loading super fast compared to a regular hard drive. Anyways, here we are in Bree. This is one of the beginner areas of the map. Let me pull up the map real quick. So here we go. This is Bree Town proper. Shire's all the way over here. And we're just going to kind of start over here. Most of the beginner quests are in this area. And then we're going to move through here and then just kind of go from there, I guess. So I'm just going to start talking to people with rings above their head. But not before talking to this guy.
What do you need?
It's always the most important part, is to make sure you have quick access to things.
Will you give me a moment of your time, friend?
So earning trust. An unusual horse arrived in the stable here down at the end, but I have no time to help him settle into the new stall. I need to tend to these other horses or the stable master will have my head. Would you please help me tend the horse's stall and make sure he has everything he needs? For new horses, I usually check the bedding for freshness and the trough for grain. Make sure he has plenty of water too. Alright, I can do that. Let's talk to this lady.
Might I take a moment of your time?
I'm sorry, my mind is miles away. I didn't see you there. Did you help fight off the brigands? My dad did. Haha. Gale chokes back a sob. During the Blackwolves' raid on Arquette, someone broke into our house and stole many of our things. I don't care about most of them, but they took my dad's favorite fishing pole. I don't care if I get anything else back, but he wouldn't have wanted some filthy brigand to have it. Now that I've moved here to Combe, I've been meaning to ask Constable Wren if she could track down the fishing pole for me. Could you ask her if she has any idea where it might have been taken? She'll be at the guardhouse on the hill east of Combe. Right? So let me see if I can actually start checking the horse here. Check the food trough. My character's still a little bit drunk. You can see my screen kind of moving side to side a little bit. This food trough looks empty. There seems to be a decent supply of grain in the area. Search the containers for grain to put in the food trough. Right, what about the water? This water bucket looks empty and needs to be filled. Grab a bucket of water from the nearby well to fill the bucket and provide the horse with water. So, got a bit of a confession. I haven't played Lord of the Rings Online in quite a long time. The reason is I was recording a ton of other games for my channel. You should definitely go check them out. I've actually done a bunch of them, and I'm pretty happy with how most of them turned out, so go check those out, man. A lot of great stuff on there. Right, just getting some grain here for the pony. Little horse. There's this freaking townsperson just sleeping in the hay here. Let's get the water. And I guess let's drop it in his little water bowl. Perfect. And what have we here? Deed bestowed. Let me just continue to talk with some of the people here. Look at this dude's mustache. Look at that thing. It's ridiculous. It's awesome. I love it.
Might I take a moment of your time?
Now that the people of Arquette have stood up against the Blackwolf brigands, and we've got them on the run here, the tides are turning. Things are returning to normal, and I say it's time I did my part. I used to send honey down to Stattle, and trade for pipeweed, a business I'm ready to pick up again. My old trading partner, a hobbit by the name of Lolo Weddingway, used to peddle wares on the road between here and Staddle, to the south. When the Blackwolds came, I'll wager he holed up down there. If you happen to be in Staddle and see Lolo, please let him know that I would like to renew our partnership. Excellent. We still need more grain for the horse, so let me try to pick up a few more bags here before I talk to this lady. All these are moldy, man. I only have 4 of 6. I need 2 more. I don't know where I'm going to find some more. Let me continue talking to other people, though.
Might I take a moment of your time?
Pardon me, do you think I could take up some of your time? I haven't had any word of my son Covell since the brigand nonsense began, and I'm mighty scared that he got caught up in some trouble. We lived in Arquette till recently, but we had an argument. I'm sure you know how boys are, and Covell left all in a huff. He said that he would make his own way down in Combe, and that's the last I heard of him. Now that I've come to Combe, I hear he's gone east. If you don't mind, could you talk to Constable Wren for me? She watches the road east of Combe, and maybe she's seen Covell pass. Okay, so it looks like Constable Wren is in charge here.
Stay a moment.
After the initial raids, when folk began fleeing the villages like Arquette and Staddle, the Blackwolves found they could no longer rely only upon raids to support themselves. They seized Old Bauman's farm and began tilling the soil, though badly and without care for the land. The brigands at the farm must be under the supervision of some Blackwold leader, else they would fall to laziness. If you confront the Blackwold's leader at the farm, you might be able to recover some of the valuables that they have stolen. Old Bauman's farm is deep in the Cetwood, at the end of the eastward path. I would appreciate it if you could at least try. There are many folk who would benefit from recovery of the treasure.
Stay a moment.
The Blackwold brigands are on the run, no question about it. They're trying to regroup at the camps throughout the Cetwood, but they suffered a real defeat at Arquette. Just a reminder, if you guys remember, all the way back from the prologue, there was a Blackwold invasion in Arquette, and we kind of helped quell that a little bit, but it seems to be progressing through this storyline. The brigands fled their old encampment up by Arquette, carrying a large lockbox, which they brought to one of the smaller camps in Cetwood, northeast of Combe. If we can get our hands on that lockbox, its contents could be used to help those who lost property to the Blackwolds. There are a number of watchfires along the road, so you'll need to find the right one. These villains have a great many debts to repay, Kippen. If you can return with a lockbox, the folk around here will be better for it. Alright, excellent. Then let me go talk to that guy up there. And again, let me just remind you, I do have my Stone of the Tortoise equipped, so I'm not leveling up, since I'm still doing some of the lower level regions. But once I kind of catch up with the content, then I'll take that off and continue leveling.
I'm sure it will do no good, but...
Me old dad was a
May I
robber
speak
some
with
years
you?
back, and got his hands on a good deal of riches, as I hear. Constable caught him, but before he was hanged, my dad told me where he buried his loot. I never needed it before now, so I was content and just let it stay buried. But I figured it's time to get my hands on the wealth enough to keep you warm and shod, as my dear old dad called it. Can you take this pickaxe and dig the treasure up? Just up the road, east from Combe to Constable Wren's post up by the guardhouse. Climb over the hill on the right and walk down to the riverbank, where the hanging tree grows. It'll have an X carved into it. You'll be helping me make new start of things, and you'll have me everlasting thanks. Now, if my dad had buried some secret hoard of treasure, I would most certainly not ask a stranger to go dig it up for me. That just seems really stupid. But I'm not going to complain. Actually get on my horse here. I forgot I have a horse. It's been so long since I played. It's probably not that long for you guys, since I kind of pre-record most of the seasons and then release them, so there's not like a huge break in between the seasons. But for me, it's been a while. I'm trying to find some more feeds here. There's some horse bedding. I never inspected that. This bedding looks like it's been here forever, probably from the previous tenant of this stall. It's awfully dirty, and she's sure. It's awfully dirty. Ugh. It's awfully dirty and should certainly be replaced at once. Collect some freshly cut hay stacks to replace the bedding. Alright. So where's all this hay? I don't see anything around here. There's a few, I guess. And I guess I do have this skill still. The Forced March, I think it's called. Yes, makes me run super fast. Now, I was mentioning earlier that I was recording a ton of other games for my channel, but I don't want you guys to think that I'm kind of putting Lord of the Rings Online on the side. In fact, I really want to step up my game for LOTRO, because who knows how long this game's going to be around. I definitely want to finish everything the game has to offer before anything happens to the game itself. So I'm trying to just do as much as I can, as quickly as I can. Okay, so I still need some grain and some feed. Although I can't find either of those. Okay, there's one down there. Okay, that's all the hay I need. I still do need some feed though. There we go. Got a few over here. Alright, and that is everything. So let me go clean up this horse's stall. Okay. So I need to pat the horse and comfort him in his new stall. Excellent. And now let me talk to the guy here.
Hello there.
Thank you for your help. That horse looks more comfortable in the new stall already, and appears to be pretty well taken care of now. You may have acquired a new friend in this horse. He seems to have taken a liking to you.
Hello, friend. Could you help me with something?
The horse's stall looks satisfactory for the time being, but it would seem this horse arrived with no horseshoes. I managed to check the hooves without getting kicked, and they're doing fine for now. Soon though, he will need a set of shoes made. Please head to the Bree town and talk to the blacksmith to see if one is available to make a set of horseshoes for us. Okay, I can do that. But first we're going to continue along to the east here and kind of do some of the quests over that way. Again, I've already done the prologue for the Shire. I've also done the prologue in Heirloom both for the elves and for the dwarves. But there is prologue for the men here as well, and also the Bjornings. So I'm going to be doing another set of prologue quests here in Bree-land. They're fun though. Oh man, I always get trolled by the crafting quests. So I'm not going to do those because they're just like introductory crafting quests. Maybe in one video in the future I'll dedicate it to crafting quests. But for now I just want to do the main things. Looks like it's Constable Wren here. She seems to be in charge of Combe. Let's see what she's got to say.
Greetings.
I've heard that many of the Blackwood brigands, after looting Arquette, fled into the Cetwood. It seems that the Blackwood leaders are angry. They feel that the raid might have been more successful if their followers had been less focused on filling their pockets and more on acting together. The main encampment is east, down the road, and then deep into the northern woods. I suspect that many of the Blackwolves can be found within that camp. Mayhaps, if you search in that area, you might find Gale's lost fishing pole.
How can I be of service?
Looking for Covell Woodwright, are you? I've heard something about the boy, but I can't say his mother is going to like it. He's joined up with the Blackwolves. He hadn't been in Combe for long when they took him. He tried finding work around town, but he didn't have enough stamina for hard labor. If you can talk to him, you might convince him to give up his new line of work, but I doubt it. I'll wager you'll find him east of Combe in the Cetwood. Just follow the path from the lumber camp north and east. You're sure to come across the Blackwold camp or two up there. So that's kind of sad. Poor kid got mixed up with the wrong crowd and now he's a vicious criminal. And now I'm headed to the hanging tree to maybe find some hidden treasure. Okay, So it looks like we can dig around some of the trees here. Dig near the stumps. Okay, found nothing here. Nothing here either. And nothing. So it looks like I just have to take my pickaxe back. Also, in the previous 2 seasons, I kept asking you guys if you had any tips on how to reduce my keyboard noises while I'm playing this game. I actually figured out a trick on how to help that. Not completely eliminate it. And I'm just super surprised it took me so long to figure it out. Basically, I'm using a noise gate now, which deletes any audio below a certain threshold. It's crazy, I've been doing these playthroughs for so long, and I just beat myself up that it took me so long to figure out that little trick. But anyways, should be a lot better now, in case that bothered you. And I just ran right past this guy.
Can't you leave me to my misery?
What? They chopped down the hanging tree? And he dug all the trees with an axe? This is terrible. How will I ever find me Dad's buried treasure now?
I'm sorry to trouble you, but will you help me?
Maybe the woodcutters at the lumber camp up east of here remember which tree was the hanging tree. Kippen, you've got to have word with the Mason Thorn, the man in charge there. He just has to remember which of the old stumps used to be the hanging tree. He just has to. The lumber camp is along the road north of the big house. Please, I need that money to make a new start for myself. Alright. Now I do want to come back here and just make sure... Okay. I thought the prologue for the men was supposed to start around here somewhere. But apparently not. I'll have to double check that before the next episode. Let's just continue doing some of the quests here. That's the crafting house, right? Yes, it is. Alright, so let's go over to the lumber camp. It's gonna bring us closer to Cetwood. And let me make sure that my... Okay, I'm still on ultra high and everything. So, should be good. Alright. Let's talk to this buck guy over here. It's this Pinnery, level 6. This bear is not going to give up, is he? He's going to have to die. Alright.
How can I be of service?
Mason Thorn. The hanging tree. Oh, I remember seeing a few. Hanging in my day, I do believe I wrote the side of the hanging tree down in my ledger. I write down all things I want to remember so I can just look it up. Well, bless me. I think I dropped my ledger in the woods, not far from here. Yes, I remember. We were surprised by some of those Blackwolds and I dropped my ledger. On the road. I'd wager a captain of those brigands picked it up. There are quite a few campfires to the north and east, along the Forstead Road. You might find my ledger on one of the Blackwolds. Bring it back here, and I'll look up that thing you wanted to know about. A tree, was it? Okay. Of course he dropped his ledger.
Could I speak with you a moment?
Combe has always relied on this lumber camp for her livelihood, and now the people of Arquette will be relying on us to supply the wood to rebuild their town, I expect. There's no shortage of work, that is much certain. We'll need to start taking down some of the trees to the northeast along the cliffs, but there's a wolf den up there, and it endangers our workers. Could you deal with those wolves for me? It's not safe to chop down trees near there, and I'm afraid we might lose some of our best loggers. Follow the cliff wall, you'll see the wolves, or they'll see you. Jesus Christ. Right, let's keep going.
I don't know if you can help me.
Have you heard that Arquette gave them Blackwold villains? What for? Kicked them right out. They did. And good on them. If little old Arquette can manage it, I say Combe can do one better and sweep them Blackwolds out of Cetwood for good. Now, I lost my Sally's chain when them brigands took over my farm. She's been gone for many a year, but that chain always did bring me comfort. One of them Blackwolds probably picked it up, and I want it back. Farm's far to the east. Just follow the road past all them brigand campfires. Hey, what's that? No, it's a chain, not a necklace. What a queer question. Right, it looks like there is one more quest over here.
Hello there. Might I speak with you a moment?
My Uncle Filbert and I were having tea and discussing the state of things in Bree-land, about how the folk in Archet showed the Blackwold brigands a thing or two, when Uncle Filbert stood up and said, "Someone ought to do something about these villains. I'm going to give them a piece of my mind." And then he left, without even finishing his tea. Up the road in the wood to the east of this camp, past the brigands' watchfires, there's some ruins where the Blackwolds are holed up. Uncle Filbert probably has gone there to have a word with them, though I don't think he'll make the full journey. He's not as young as he once was. If he has, he's likely gotten himself into trouble. I dare go no further to search for him, but could you go and look for him and make sure he's alright? Poor Uncle Filbert. He's probably a little bit more brave than he can be. So I think we're finally ready to head into Cetwood. As you can see here on the map, we're going to be going that way. And our first stop is going to be at the wolf den. We're going to kill some wolves. Although it looks like this may be Uncle Filbert here. Yes, it is.
Hello.
Finally, someone respectable. I was beginning to think that no one out here in the woods had any manners. I simply couldn't stand by any longer while the Blackwolds have their way in Cetwood. I marched right in and told them just what I think of their sort. They laughed me right out of their little camp. "Go back to Hobbiton, little boy," they said to me. "I've never been so spoken to like this, never." I wanted to leave. Something in that big ruin is just a little bit off, I say. One ruffian, Cole Sickleleaf, he used to be a nice boy. He took my handkerchief. "Could you bring it back for me?" He ran off to the ruins, all the way to the east, between the frightening ruins to the north, and that Skunkwood's farm. So they took his little handkerchief, poor guy. The guy just getting bullied, man. So let's kill some wolves here. And obviously this is going to be super easy for me because I'm way over the level here. But as I progress through the season and into the later regions of Bree-land, we will finally be caught up with the content. So that's going to be good. Right. Just going to kill all the wolves here. And I think we need one more. Nope, one more. Alright, excellent. That is all of them. And then, what is hitting me? Another wolf? I'm like in the middle of the wolf den. Before heading back and turning that quest in, I kind of want to go further into Cetwood and do some of the other quests. So there's a couple of campfires here. So we're going to try to see about some of the Blackwolds. Alright, doesn't seem to be anybody here. It looks like we have a fellow adventurer kind of stealing my thunder here and killing all the Blackwolds for me. There is a lockbox. Oh my gosh, you're in my way, dude. Alright. Got that. And now I need the ledger, so I probably need to kill some of the Blackwolds for that. Okay, and I got the ledger, looks like. And the fishing pole, I mean. So let me go up to the farm next and try to get the chain. Alright, there are a bunch of brigands here, but that's okay. We're gonna kill them all, of course. And get the supervisor. I found a receipt. What is that? Rurik's receipt. I thank you for your purchase and hope you will find these strong boxes useful for storing any manner of valuables, including things of great fragility. I guarantee the lock on each strongbox will remain secure against even the most dedicated of thieves. If you have any other locksmithing needs, be sure to let me know. Rurik. Alright. And we also got the chain, it looks like. So we're ready to head back into that little labor camp and turn in some of these quests. I do hope you guys are enjoying the Lord of the Rings Online series. I know it's probably not the most popular thing on my channel, but I love this game so much, and I'm glad that the people who do watch this really enjoy it. It's very nostalgic for me, and I bet it's kind of fun to watch if you're one of those people that just kind of rushed through the game and didn't read any of the quests or anything and just kind of powered through it to get to the end game. I bet this is a fun way to kind of go back and re-experience the game and all the quests without actually having to start a new character yourself. That's what I envision of this series, at least. Just a way to kind of re-go through the area and actually dig into the lore. That's one of my goals for this, is just to get you guys involved in what's actually happening in this world. Alright, let's turn in all these quests.
It's a sorry day.
You found my Sally's chain and showed those Blackwold villains a thing or two. I don't doubt it. A lifetime of thanks, Kippen. Ah, Sally, she was a good hound. We'd go hunting in the fall, and she could sniff out a coney for what seemed near a mile. It's good to have her chain back. It's all I got left of her now. Take these coins for your trouble, Kippen, and thank you. So, let me get some carrots, I guess.
How can I be of service?
You took care of the wolves. That will make harvesting the trees by the den much safer. Rebuilding the burned buildings in Arquette will require more wood than we have, and that's only one village. I don't think the Blackwolds have the numbers to try anything funny around Combe, but there's still Stattle. Too many raids, and we'll need to cut down the whole Cetwood to make the repairs. Right. Now let's go to the west to turn in some more quests. This game has one of the best soundtracks ever, man. I love it. That is the crafting hall. Don't go in there. Don't get trolled again. Okay.
What do you need?
What is this? Rurik? There's a Rurik Fennel living here in Combe? He's, a locksmith. But why would he be aiding the Blackwolds, Kippen? Rurik's house is southwest of here, just behind the Combe and Waddle. You had best have a talk with Rurik. I will be very interested to know why he's been locking boxes for the Blackwolds. Very interested indeed.
Why to take a moment of your time?
Rurik is a locksmith here in Combe. You should show him that receipt and ask him why the brigands appear to have become patrons of his. It seems odd that Rurik would be involved. He's a quiet man who keeps to himself mostly. Still, we need to investigate every lead carefully. You should find him outside his home on the road that runs south past the Combe and Waddle Inn. Right, so we might have a traitor here in our midst.
Greetings.
Ah, you have returned with the brigand's lockbox. Now let me see what's inside, and we can sell the valuables to support the survivors of the Blackwold raids throughout the area. Locked! I should have guessed as much. Well, until we find the key, we won't have any luck with this. There seems to be some initials carved into the lock. RF, most unusual. So it sounds like it's that Rurik guy again.
Would you do something for me?
I was talking to one of the other constables shortly before your return, and it seems that he learned that some of the Blackwolds were keeping even more valuables in their main camp in the ruins of northern Cetwood. With any luck, you might find a strongbox that's not locked. It's worth trying anyways. There are so many people who need the money to rebuild, and who better to take it from than the ones who stole it in the first place. Okay. Let's talk to this lady.
Greetings.
You found it. Oh, thank you, thank you. I have been thinking that the pole should have been given to the waters of my dad's favorite fishing hole, the pond near the Hunter's Lodge in Arquette. I think he'd like that. Thank you. Thank you again. Alright. And what's gonna be going on here? Looks like it's the house of that locksmith up there. Maybe. Here's Rurik Fennel. He is this guy that's been so busy lately, but there's always work to be done. He's the guy that's been kind of getting into the Blackwolves encampment and doing some shady stuff. We're going to try to investigate this next time. I hope you're excited about Season 3. I know I definitely am. Be sure to leave a like on this video. It lets me know you support the series and helps my channel to grow. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you next time.